what's good? Welcome to my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so. And if you're watching this, please, at the very least, like the video. Please, please, please. So other good people like you can find my content easily and readily. Anywho, so today we're going to be talking about Big Little Lies. Spoiler alert, please leave if you have not watched every single episode, because I ain't tiptoeing over a damn thing, okay? Woo! Y'all. I can't wait till I can start recording my Euphoria stuff, because I'm gonna be so much happier in recording that. But like, I feel like this is gonna be just a rant, which it is gonna be, because literally, what are the Vulture's editorial piece said? The Big Little Lies season finale was something. They said it was something and insufferable. You know how strong a word that is? Insufferable. And it was. I was literally texting my friend. I was like, I just realized I'm watching the last episode of Big Little Lies. This is giving me shitty teas. It was so bad. So bad. So obviously, as I think a lot of people know, the first season was primarily directed by Jean-Marc. I actually did watch his show, Sharp Objects. Very, very good show. Very well done. Really liked it. It is a show you have to pay a lot of attention to. And you can definitely see his stylistic choices from Sharp Objects into Big Little Lies. Like the way they do, like, you know, normally people do flashbacks, you know they're in a flashback. But with Big Little Lies and Sharp Objects, like, it'll just be like a normal scene, and like the scene may have like no sound or whatever, and the character could be like thinking and looking at something, but like with no sound, it'll flash to like other memories in that same spot or whatever. So like if you're not like watching it, you won't even know that you just missed something insane to know more details about the life, which I really kind of liked in a way. Like, I think that is so powerful to be able to tell a story and give us context on the character without even having to speak. That's good. Not only good acting, but that is good production. Is good. It's very cohesive, very coherent, and very unlike whatever the fuck season 2 was. Okay, season 2 to me was a pull. Season 2 to me was a, we got Meryl Streep interested in our show. How the fuck can we capitalize on this? Because they were not going to have a season 2. But when Meryl Streep came on board, and this is our first time returning back to TV in 9 years, of course. And now listen. I feel like I've heard a lot of other black content creators say, am not that into, at this point in my life, white content. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have grown up on it. I have seen enough of it. It's good, and I will watch shows with a whole bunch of white people. It is what it is. But what gets me hyped, what gets me like, yes, bitch, is seeing shows with minorities. Not people of color. I don't like saying that term, because I'm black. I'm not a person. I'm black. But I will take shows with Spanish people, with gay people, with black queer people. It excites me. I'm like, yes, bitch, yes, because it's different and it's good content. We are dope. But Big Little Lies really kind of fucked up. I don't think they even realized how big of an audience they had with black people, because a lot of my black content creators who, like I said, are normally not into stuff that is primarily white. Like, all the women are white, and especially first, like Zoe is like the only like person who's not white in like the show, pretty much, in the main cast. But like a lot of my black content creators over love Big Little Lies as well, and so I don't think they realized that they had a as diverse demographic as they did. But anywho, sense. So obviously the first season ended on. Oh, I didn't finish what happened with the director. Jean-Marc he was the director of the first season. Yada yada yada. And then I guess the second season, a lady by the name of Andrea. I'm not sure what else she has directed. She pretty much had like the executive control. I think she was like doing most of the shooting, whatever, all this type of stuff. Well, and I've said this before, when it comes to these shows, especially with the unexpected success, like they knew it was gonna be successful. Cause I mean, come on, you got Nicole Kidman, you got Meryl Streep, you got Reese Witherspoon, and see, this is what I mean by like white people on TV. Like, I think it drew a lot of us black people in because these are the white people that we stand for as kids. When we couldn't watch us, we were like, we'll roll these bitches. So to get these women together on a television show, Laura Dunn, it was incredible. And they really dropped the ball. When it came to the second season. I feel like the second season should not have happened, honestly. It ended just fine for me. We're gonna talk about some plot holes they missed. We're gonna talk about like make it make sense, the detective, like anyway, we're gonna get into it. But basically HBO, with the pressure from everything, because when people found out the second season was coming, it was like, oh my gosh. And then you got Meryl Streep, it was like, oh my gosh. Like I said, you already had a oh my gosh, but then you added, and it was like, oh, yes. So then you added that into it, and I think Nicole Kidman is the one who won the Emmy last season, which bitch she should have. Woo. We also should get into the talk about when it's male directors and how much violence is on women, because I'm telling y'all, it got to a point of Big Little Lies of the first season that I had to like skip past the abuse, because if we're in the last episode of the season, or even the last episode of the season, and every single episode we've already seen her husband beat her ass a good like 20 minutes worth, why the hell do I still need to see that for such an extended period of time? And like those scenes were so brutal and so long, and it got so uncomfortable after a moment. Like it was just like, fuck, like, okay, like, and like the scenes were so bad that I think for most of the scenes where like he was hitting her, I was curious on if her character was going to get killed. Like that's how insane it was. And honestly, I felt a little unrealistic to how much she was actually bruised. Like I think in real life she would have been like I do think that he took care to not hit her in the face, even though not really, because there were times where he would like knee her in her back and like oof, Jesus. Anyway, but with all the pressure, from what everyone has heard, I guess HBO told the production companies, like, we need Jean-Marc Vallée to make sure he goes back in there and do a little twist, a little touch, a little whatever onto this show, and make sure that, who is calling me? I don't know what that is. And to just make sure that we can have the cohesiveness of the first and second season. This is a big deal. We got Meryl Streep, and Andrea is, I guess, new to producing the show, or directing the show, and we just want to make sure that we keep the same traction that we came to last season. Yeah, we had last season. Well, I think there's a problem to that. First of all, you guys are already off book, so it's already going to be a different feel. And then second of all, when you do stuff like that and you've already filmed content, in order to make room for his artistic direction, you gotta cut shit. And so it just feels unnatural. Like there were some scenes that were like a second long. You're like, what the fuck was that for anyway? Like, why was that even needed? Like, make it make sense, y'all. And if this is supposed to be like the series finale, then I'm confused, because it should be wrapped up. So the first season ends with the dope plot twist that Perry is the one who raped Jane, and this is the first time, which is crazy to me, but he did travel a lot, but this is the first time that Jane has ever seen Perry in real life, and she's like pretty much became best friends with I can't remember Nicole Kidman character is right at this moment, but she's pretty much became like best friends with Nicole Kidman's character, his wife, and at the party at the end of the season for season 1, when she sees him, whatever, like they all kind of like realize, and then that's when Bonnie like pushes him and he falls downstairs and Perry dies. So we know for a fact he died. There is no him just randomly coming back or none of that. Let me see, Celeste, that's right, Celeste. So when Perry died, it was Celeste, it was Renata, it was Jane, it was Bonnie, and I want to say that's it, but I feel like I'm missing something. But yeah, so to start off, so for the next season, and this is why I think he did this too. Every single episode started off with a flashback and one of the ladies dreaming of their perspective of Perry falling down the stairs. And I was like, yawn. Y'all should start off with the first episode and only done it with like Bonnie maybe, because Bonnie's the one who pushed him. And I guess that hint is towards the fact that Bonnie may have went through a because Bonnie is like the carefree black girl in the show or whatever, and she's like yoga and like zen and it's like we don't raise our voice and we have a no waste house zone and stuff like she's like that type of like vibe. And so it was very uncharacteristic of her to get so angry and like and push him downstairs. So the second season, they wanted to like lean more into her storyline, so they bring in her mom, and her mom ends up having a seizure and going into a coma because her mom is allegedly so overwhelmed by the energy from Bonnie, because Bonnie is so depressed because she killed somebody, and then Madeline pretty much made them all lie about it because they said that he fell down the stairs when she actually pushed him, and Bonnie just wanted to say, yo, I pushed the mofo, he came towards me, self-defense, pushed downstairs. But now Madeline has created this lie, Reese Witherspoon's character, and pretty much put them all into a predicament that they cannot get out of without admitting to it and all going to fucking jail. So that's the dilemma. On top of the fact that now you have Mary Louise, as Alexandra Rogers says. So now you have Mary Louise in the picture because that is Perry's mom. So Perry's mom is like, yo, my son ain't fall down no stairs. What happened? Like, what really happened? And in the end of this first season, Celeste was getting ready to leave Perry, right? So, like, she had even rented an apartment, and that's actually how Perry found out, because the landlord had called Celeste and was like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and set up the fire alarm or whatever, or something in the house, in the apartment, just let you know, so your apartment be ready to move in, or whatever. And he had ended up hearing the voicemail or whatever on her phone at the time, and so that's actually how he ended up finding out that she even was about to leave him, because she had like a whole side place and everything. So in Mary Louise's head, in the beginning, she's really heavily thinking like, oh, she was getting ready to leave him, and so instead of her going through like a custody battle with him, whatever, she decided just to kill my son. So we also do find out that Mary Louise, which also, fun fact, Mary Louise is actually Meryl Streep's real name, and also Perry, the guy who's supposed to be her son, she plays Perry's dad's, she's Perry's dad's girlfriend in Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia, here we go again. Mama, how can I resist you? Yes, I've been broken hearted. Theater kid. What can you say? Anyway, so we do also find out that Mary Louise also had a kid that will come back to play later on in the season. So we find out Mary Louise also had another kid besides Perry, but he died when they were all younger. So now, of course, like for Mary Louise, her heart is like devastated and she's broken, because in her, like for her in her world, like not only I think has her husband gone, but her kids are dead, and like who wants to bury their kids ever? So she is trying to get down and figure out what the hell is going on, and she does not want to be played by nobody. I don't think she ever really liked Celeste in the first place, but Perry loved her, so she said, do what you want to do, boo. But I don't trust that hoe. So Mary Louise pretty much comes around to help Celeste out, but also find out the real shit. And the first 3 episodes start off so strong. Like, bitch, Meryl Streep was reading Reese Witherspoon for filth. And see, this was the fun of the season. The fun of the season was getting to see these iconic actresses in scenes together. So much of the other like minor cast, they were all like, our biggest thing was we don't care who we are on the show. We just want to be a part of the show and in the room with these people. Like it is a big deal to see like Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, and Meryl Streep and Laura all to see together. Ah, so good. And there are just some very good deep moments in this season of Big Little Lies that I loved. There was a moment, oh my gosh, the very first episode, there was a moment which it's gonna be hilarious because like I've been telling my friend like how much of a shit show Big Little Lies turned into, but I think she's gonna watch the first 3 episodes. She's a slow watcher. Like I think she's still in the 4th episode. Sorry, baby, I love you. You know what I'm talking to. You don't know why. I know she watch videos. I love you. But it's gonna take her like 5 years to watch. Shade. It's gonna take my boo like 5 years to watch the first 3 episodes of the season. So I feel like she's gonna be like, Japan, what you talking about? This season's amazing. But then she gonna see. You gonna see. 1652. You gonna see. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you this part right here. Like, told you, boo. But anyway. So the very first episode, I think it was a closing scene, and it's Mary Louise. Also, don't forget, Celeste has 2 boys, and one of the boys is the boy who was attacking Amabella, and when they all thought it was Jane's child, which actually is the twins' brothers as well, or the kids' brothers. I think they're twins. But one of the kids, he actually was completely aware of the abuse because Perry thought he was slick the whole time, and he thought that he pretty much thought that his kids were not aware that he was beating the shit out of his wife. I'm like, how do they not know? But one of the kids definitely knew, and he started exhibiting that behavior at school. And then people thought it was Jane's child, which was a very tough position for Jane to be in. I am going to say I don't like Shailene Woodley as an actor that much. I think she's still growing, and I think she got in an incredibly difficult role to play, and I think that may have been too much death for her. Maybe in a few years I think she could, but also I'm trying not to judge her too badly because you are in, if you had to pick one, come on, Laura Dunn, Nicole Kidman, Meryl fucking Streep, Reese Witherspoon, Shailene Woodley. Who is gonna be the weakest out of the bunch? Who has the least experience out of the bunch? Did y'all know Loretta Devine has been in over 150 movies? Holy shit, that woman is working. Anyway, side note, saw Wendy Williams the other day, and I love Loretta Devine. She is also one of my iconic mofos in my head, like her, Jennifer Lawrence, like, oh my gosh. Just stand. I just stand all the way. All the way. Anyway, going back. So, it was very tough for Jane because obviously Jane's child is a product of rape. And of a very violent rape. Not that no rape isn't violent. But her child is a product of rape. And so there's already moments where he is exhibiting, honestly, I feel like just normal kid behavior, but also normal kid behavior of a kid who is getting to a point where he just wants to know who his dad is, and you just moved to a school where everyone has a 2-parent household. You're like kind of like the only single mom in this situation, or at least there are some single moms with like divorced from their husband, and like but their husband's still in the picture in a way. So it's like he's the only one who doesn't know his father, and they are having these projects at school where it's like make a scrapbook of your family and gotta give us information about your dad and where you come from. And so it's like if he's getting these projects in elementary school to discover who he is, and you don't know who his dad is, but you don't want to tell him you don't know who his dad is, so he just exhibits this anger because of the fact that instead of his mom telling him, I don't know who your dad is. I'm really sorry. He's just thinking that his mom just doesn't want to tell him who his dad is. So he shows some very angry moments, and it's like you could tell like they're trying to mislead you and make you think that, okay, there is a way that James Child could be the one abusing this little girl, but he's not. And Ziggy is a sweet child, very sweet child, annoying kid in the show, but very sweet child. I'm over here for Madeline's child, okay? Madeline's little girl, that girl is my homie. She is adorable. I love her. But anyway, I'm not that big into kids and shows with adults. Like, you can take it or leave it. But moving along. So we get to see this point of contention and everything, and Mary Louise is in the first episode at the last scene with Celeste, her two kids, and they're sitting at the dinner table. And there's something that Meryl Streep says, and I don't remember exactly what she says, but I'm actually going to find it. I am DB. I know it's in the IMDb episode for the quotes. Let's see, Big Little Lies. Please stop. My phone keeps like automatically selecting shit. Big Little Lies season 1 episode. Nope, season 2. Because I really want to get exactly what she says right. Because it was like a damn moment. Big Little Lies season 1. Season 1. Season 1. Beep, beep, beep. Damn, man. These articles with Big Little Lies are sad. I'd be crying. Shit. I don't want to download your app. Stop trying to tell me to download your app. No thanks. I got enough apps on my phone. Trust. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Quotes. Here it is. Okay, here it is. Yeah. So Mary Louise says, you know, the day I was with some friends and their sons were not a patch on your dad, da da da. And so Mary Louise is like, pretty much saying like, the other day she's like, the other day she was with some friends pretty much hanging out. Which, who does Mary Louise hang out with over here? Who? I want to know. Because listen, Mary Louise, she's always up in everybody's business all day long. I want to be in her business. I want to know what your friends like, boo. Sorry, I need to take my other half of my Addis, so I'm ready to work. Got to get my energy kicking back in, because it's kind of waning a little bit recorded. Alright. We're good. Alright, so she says, she's basically saying like, yeah, so she's hanging out with some friends, and she's like saying like, their sons, like, don't hold a candle to your daddy, baby. And she said like, and then she just felt so angry. And then she's like, yo, she's like angry. And she's like, you know that their mediocre son, their mediocre, spinally, pudgy, balding, middle management sons still alive in my Perry. And they were like, so what'd you do? And she was like, I screamed. And she's like, what here? And then she just starts screaming. She's like, ah! And she's like, I was like, damn, Meryl Streep. And then Meryl hits with that line to Celeste, what, is my grief too loud for you? I was like, damn. My freshman year when I went to Dr. Phillips, did a scene with a partner from a movie slash play called Rabbit Hole, and it's about these two parents who lose their kid. The kid goes to chase a ball or something like that, or the dog, I forgot exactly what, and ends up getting hit by the car, and you pretty much get to see how the two parents both grieve in very different ways. And I think that is extremely difficult. So whenever I see like a conversation about like grief and loss, I'm very intrigued and interested, I think, because of me doing that when I was younger, and just really realizing that like, wow, people grieve different ways, especially when you're connected with each other through family, through relationship, through whatever. Analyzing the way you grieve and the way people grieve differently is very interesting. So that to me was just so in depth. I mean, and also it did add the elements of the plot line that, of course, Mary Louise is very suspicious of Celeste and what exactly happened to her son, and she is trying to wonder, why are you seem like you're fine? I mean, like, Celeste is like, damn, my ass ain't getting beaten today, so whew, what a day. But Celeste also still really misses her husband, which I think is also just very interesting to see the realistic aspects of a domestic violence survivor, and because I've never been through that. So it's just very intriguing to see, honestly, the way like some of them cope with it. Because like Jane's also a rape survivor, and just seeing the way she copes with that differently than Celeste, and just the different emotions, but also the beauty of how even like Jane and Celeste can have a relationship. Because honey, I don't know if I'm not saying I'm going to take it against you, but if my husband raped you and now you guys have a baby, but me and you had already became best friends, I don't know. I mean, of course he didn't know Jane, like they didn't know each other all the time, but like on top of the fact that I don't know if we could have some of the conversations like they were having. Like Jane and Celeste had some conversations, like even like about the rape. Like I don't know. I'm not saying that I would like shame her or not want to talk to her, but I just don't know how the conversation would go, and I don't know if emotionally I could handle it or have those conversations. But I do think that kind of goes into the mindset of Celeste, because Celeste is the type of domestic violent survivor that eternalizes, and I think still inflicts that pain on herself. And I think even when the therapist pointed out that bruise, and she was like, Celeste, are you putting bruises on yourself now? And I think it's just very intriguing to the mindset that goes into Celeste. And that's another problem I had with season 2, was that they didn't delve into that, guys. Like they didn't. Where was it? And I really want to get more into that, because I don't have any notes for Big Little Lies. But let me tell you, there were some awkward lines Jane had. Like some awkward lines. I don't remember exactly what they were, but they were uncomfortable, and like Jane and Celeste were like on the regular having like these like date like nights with each other in a way, like these like get together like friend nights at that bar or whatever, and delving deep into their situation, their experiences with the same man. And it's, I don't know, like, and even as Jane, it goes the same way. I don't know if as Jane, I don't know if, even if we built a best friend relationship, I don't know if we can bunk with each other the exact same way if I find out that your husband is the one who raped me. You get what I'm saying? Like, y'all remember Veronica Mars when Logan ended up sleeping with homegirl who had gave Veronica the roofie, and Veronica was like, fuck you, Logan, I ain't with you, deuces, even though they're back together in the new season. I haven't finished it yet. It's interesting. Because it's interesting because I watched all of the 3 seasons consecutively, and I just got to the 4th season. And Veronica Mars doesn't let she age a day. Kristen Bell does not let she age a day. I used to be a marshmallow. That's what they call it. Veronica Mars fans, marshmallows. We're going to bypass that dorky moment. Okay, anyway. Oh yeah, that was one of the lines. Like, Jane straight up asked Celeste, like, are you glad he's dead? Like, her husband. And Celeste was like, it's complicated. I'm like, that is just interesting to me to ask that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Anyway. that's so you guys know. You guys have watched it if you're watching this. So can somebody tell me what the hell? This season seemed like it was going to be all about these girls and the investigation into what happened with Perry. Like, the truth is about to come out, right? So I like how they did tie in Meryl Streep's character with the fact that, oh shit, now that Meryl Streep is in the picture, because Meryl Streep eventually contests to try to get custody of the kids, right? So because she's trying to get custody of the kids, they call everybody's name is on the witness list that was there when Perry died, right? So what can be called to Celeste's character very easily is, what happened with your husband, girl? Did you push Perry down the stairs? They can ask that, because it was a point in the investigation where, like, it's an ambiguous matter. Like, they don't know for sure what exactly happened. And that would call to Celeste's character as being a parent. And so with all of their names on the witness list, if they lie, they're committing perjury. So that was how they tied Mary Louise's, like, storyline into the whole point. But, okay, so the detective, where the fuck was she? Like, the whole time. Like, they made it seem like the detective was gonna be, like, part of this season. She wasn't. With Bonnie and her grief towards being or whatever, they are, so Bonnie's mom is having, like, what you call it, visions and all that type of stuff, and she slips into a coma, and she's, like, telling Bonnie, kill me, and all that type of stuff, and, Bonnie did have some powerful moments, like, when she was, there's a point when Bonnie is reading to her mom, just kind of like, so mom, I did this, I did that, because of you being a, because we see flashbacks to her mom is, like, an alcoholic, which was another, like, kind of trope to me, first of all. Can we talk about that? Like, I just did have a little problem with the casting, and see, this is what I said in my last video, like, there are certain things that bother me, and there are certain things that don't, and we all get triggered by different things, and it is what it is. We don't all need to be triggered by the same things at the same time. We don't. Trust. But everybody knows who Zoe Kravitz is. Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet's child. So, while yes, Lisa Bonet could pass for a biracial child, Lisa Bonet is, Zoe Kravitz is not biracial. Zoe Kravitz is black. She's light-skinned, but she's black. Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz are both African-American individuals. Or black. Not people of color, black. Okay? So, why did y'all need to cast her dad as a white guy and her mom as a dark-skinned black woman? To, like, be like, well, we balanced it out and that's how she got her skin tone. Like, why not just cast 2 black people? You could even cast 2 black people with my skin color and it would have been fine. Like, no one would be like, oh my gosh, like, the coloring's a little off. Like, whatever. But it just, I don't know, like, so her mom is, like, the black woman alcoholic who's angry, and the dad's, like, the white nice guy who has no anger or whatever and all that type of stuff. But eventually her mom transforms and has better energy and all that type of stuff and da da da. They don't give us a lot of backstory of her mom's transformation because it didn't make any sense to how her mom was now and all that. So it didn't connect, for me at least. But regardless, like I said, her mom is now a contention point in her story because the husband, Nathan, don't forget, Nathan is Madeline's husband, ex-husband. And so Nathan is the antithesis of his wife, Zoe Kravitz. Which I didn't catch the fact that in the first season, Zoe Kravitz said some bullshit like, because they're sisters, and Reese was like, how are they sisters? And like their kids weren't sisters. That was really funny. But it just didn't make sense, y'all. It just didn't make sense. Like, the whole storyline, I do kind of want to find we're going to get to Renata. I cannot forget Renata. We're going to finish with Bonnie first. Okay, so yeah, so